Oh, good morning, everyone. Just getting the camera set up here. I am just going to read out of Proverbs chapter 15. Contrast the upright and the wicked. Chapter 15, verse 1. I'm just going to jump right into this. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise makes knowledge acceptable, but the mouth of fools spouts folly. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, watching the evil and the good. A soothing tongue is a tree of life, but perversion in it crushes the spirit. A fool rejects his father's discipline, but he who regards reproof is prudent. Much wealth is in the house of the righteous, but trouble is in the income of the wicked. The lips of the wise spread knowledge, but the hearts of fools are not so. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but he who loves him pursues righteousness. Stern discipline is for him who forsakes the way, but he who hates reproof will die. Sheol and Abaddon lie upon before the Lord. How much more the hearts of men? A scoffer does not love one who reproves him. He will not go to the wise. A joyful heart makes a cheerful face, but when the heart is sad, the spirit is broken. The mind of the intelligent seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fools feeds on folly. All the days of the afflicted are bad, but a cheerful heart has a continual feast. Better is a little with the fear of the Lord than a great treasure in turmoil with it. Better is a dish of vegetables where love is, than a fattened ox and hatred with it. A hot-tempered man stirs up strife, but the slow to anger pacifies contention. The way of the sluggard is as a hedge of thorns, but the path of the upright is a highway. A wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly is joy to him who lacks sense, but a man of understanding walks straight. Without consolation, plans are frustrated, but with many counselors they succeed. A man has joy in an apt answer, and how delightful is a timely word. The path of life leads upward for the wise, that he may keep away from Sheol below. The Lord will tear down the house of the proud, but he will establish the boundary of the widow. Evil plans are an abomination to the Lord, but pleasant words are pure. He who profits illicitly troubles his own house, but he who hates bribes will live. The heart of the righteous ponders how to answer, but the mouth of the wicked pours out evil things. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. Bright eyes gladden the heart. Good news puts fat on the bones. He whose ear listens to the life-giving reproof will dwell among the wise. He who neglects discipline despises himself, but he who listens to reproof acquires understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction for wisdom, and before honor comes humility. I'm going to take a sip there, and then off to chapter 16. Chapter 16, verse 1 of Book of Proverbs. The plans of the heart belong to man, but the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are clean in his own sight, but the Lord weighs the motives. Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be established. The Lord has made everything for its own purpose, even the wicked for the day of evil. Everyone who is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Assuredly, he will not be unpunished. By loving kindness and truth iniquity is atoned for, and by the fear of the Lord one keeps away from evil. When a man's ways are pleasing to the Lord, he makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than great income with injustice. The mind of man plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. A, de- a devious decision is in the lips of the king. His mouth should not err in judgment. A just balance and scales belong to the Lord. All the weights of the bag are his concern. It is an abomination for kings to commit wickedness, for a throne is established on righteousness. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and he who speaks right is loved. The wrath, the wrath of a king is his messengers of death, but a wise man will appease it. The light of a king's face is life, and his favor is like a cloud with the spring rain. How much better it is to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding is to be chosen above silver. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He who watches his way preserves his life. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before stumbling. A haughty spirit before stumbling. It is better to be uh, it is better to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. He who gives attention to the word shall find good, and blessed is he who trusts in the Lord. The wise in heart will be called discerning. The sweetness of speech increases persuasiveness. Understanding in a fountain of life to him who has it, but the discipline of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teaches his mouth, and adds persuasiveness to his lips. Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. There is a way which seems right to a man, but his end is a way of death. A worker's appetite works for him, for his hunger urges him on. A worthless man digs up evil, while his words are as scorching fire. A perverse man spreads strife. A slanderer separates intimate friends. A man of violence entices his neighbor and leads him in a way that is not good. He who, he who winks his eyes does so to devise perverse things. He who compresses his lips brings evil to pass. A grave head is a crown of glory. It is found in the way of righteousness. He who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who captures a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but its very decision is from the Lord. And that is the end of chapter 16 of Proverbs. I will read, chapter 17 here of good old Proverbs. This is a good book. Better is a dry morsel and quietness with it than a house full of feasting with strife. A servant who acts wisely will rule over a son who acts shamefully, and will share an inheritance among brothers. The refining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Lord tests hearts. The evildoer listens to wicked lips, a liar pays attention to a destructive tongue. He who mocks the poor reproaches his maker. He who rejoices at calamity will not go unpunished. Grandchildren are the crown of old men, and the glory of sons is their fathers. Excellent speech is not fitting for a fool, much less are lying lips to a prince. A bribe is a charm in the sight of its owner. Wherever he turns, he prospers. He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates intimate friends. A rebuke goes deeper into one who has understanding than 100 blows into a fool. A rebellious man seeks only evil, so a cruel messenger will be sent against him. Let a man meet a bear robbed of her cubs, rather than a fool in his folly. He who returns evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is like letting out water. So abandon the quarrel before it breaks out. He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the righteous, both of them alike are an abomination to the Lord. Why is there a price in the hand of a fool to buy wisdom? When he has no sense, a friend loves at all times, but a brother is born for adversity. A man lacking in sense pledges and becomes surety in the presence of his neighbor. He who loves transgression loves stripes. He who raises his door seeks destruction. He who has a crooked mind finds no good, and he who is perverted in his language falls into evil. He who begets a fool does so to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. A wicked man receives a bribe from the bosom to pervert the ways of justice. Wisdom is in the presence of the one who has understanding, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth. A foolish son is grief to his father, the bitterness to her who bore him. It is also not good to find the righteous, nor to strike the noble for their uprightness. He who restrains his words has knowledge, and he who has a cool spirit is a man of understanding. Even a fool, when he keeps silent, is considered wise. When he closes his lips, he counted prudent. That is the end of chapter 17. Hey, what is up, Bruce? What is what? Oh, what is up, Raw? What is up, guys? This felt like I was thinking of a book that I should read, and all of a sudden Proverbs came to mind, and I can't sleep for the moment. I'll read one more. Chapter 18 of Proverbs. He who separates himself seeks his own desire. He who quarrels against all sound wisdom. A fool does not delight in understanding, but only in revealing his own mind. When a wicked man comes, contempt also comes, and with dishonor comes reproach. The words of a man's mouth are deep waters. The fountain of wisdom is a bubbling brook. To show partially to the wicked is not good, nor to thrust aside the righteous in judgment. A fool's lips bring strife, and his mouth calls for blows. A fool's mouth in his ruin, and his lips are the snare of his soul. The words of a whisperer are the dainty morsels. They go down into the innermost parts of the body. He also who is slack in his work is brother to him who destroys. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runs into it and is safe. A rich man's wealth is a strong city, and like a high wall in his own imagination. Before destruction, the heart of man is haughty, but humility goes before honor. He who gives an answer before he hears, it is folly and shame to him. The spirit of a man can endure his sickness, but a broken spirit who can bear? The mind of the prudent acquires knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A man's gift makes room for him, and brings him before great men. The first to plead his case seems just, until another comes and examines him. The lot puts an end to contentions and decides between the mighty. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city. The contentions are like the bars of a castle. With the fruit of a man's mouth, his stomach will be satisfied. He will be satisfied with the product of his lips. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, and obtains favor from the Lord. The poor man utters supplications. The poor man utters supplications, But the rich man answers roughly, a man of many friends comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And that is the end of chapter 18. Oof, I'm getting kind of tired. Felt good reading that. Yeah, that is interesting, Bruce. I actually remember seeing that in a link about that 2008, 2009. Very interesting. Because in this book, in this Bible, in the strongest concordance in the back, I could find that. I'm just really tired. But you are right. It does mean Barack Hussein Obama. That is pretty wild. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I'm gonna take some. I'm just watching some westerns right now. Good old Gunsmoke. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, westerns are hilarious. Heck yeah. Man. I wish I could like leave up chat. I wish there was a way. I'm trying to think. 'Cause I'm probably gonna go to sleep here very soon. I just wanted to read a little bit out of the Bible. Um, yeah, I'm gonna sleep and oh no, I heard gunshots. Oh, oh no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like these two just got themselves in a heap of trouble. Well, good night, everybody. We'll have a good morning, and well, I'll be around. I really like that last verse in chapter 18 of Proverbs. Verse 24 of Proverbs chapter 18. A man of many friends comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. That's something to just think about. You guys all have a great morning and day.